In this series of special 25 AV interviews, we'll be digging deeper into each artistic pair's collaboration and their resulting work. Today, we're chatting to Hungarian visual media artist Miha Podobni and Tbilisi-based interdisciplinary artist, DJ and Kiosk Capablanca label owner, Capablanca. The pair of you have been collaborating on various projects over the last few years, but where did the idea for your 25 AV piece stem from?
Well, I saw the call for the action, and I figure it would be a great opportunity for us to reconnect in our artistic practice, since we've been working together since the years I was living in Berlin. And after my relocation to Tbilisi, we started talking about how folk is being reappropriated by, these nationalistic tendencies. And we started kind of like questioning ourselves, like whether there is nowadays a real folk we can relate to. And well, that kind of like spun out the whole idea for the collab.
Whenever I work with Hugo, it's always really inspiring. So the cinema started playing in my head, and at the time I was researching the topic of basically disappearing spaces. I have my background in the punk scene, and also for physical spaces are disappearing. I had the feeling that I can connect less and less to physical places. Also, my folk heritage, it's being overrun by globalistic tendencies and nationalistic groups, and places just getting displaced. And I felt like I'm looking for a connection which I cannot find anymore. And I wanted to basically research this topic and make something about it.
So practically speaking, how did each of you explore these themes of folklore and the globalization of music?
So basically in my practice, what I did is that I looked around in my circles and in my past and tried to find people, inspiring people, projects, spaces, initiatives, labels, groups, basically anything which I can find inspiring and who I felt like that they're fighting against these tendencies. And I try to employ a practice that I project myself into a future where I imagine that Okos has already succeeded in creating something really local, something which can be ours, which is our own, and what can be like grown sustainably. And by imagining that I'm already in this future where this has been happened, and I'm doing an archaeologist research and going through all these projects, researching them, what they did, how they did it, how they succeeded locally, could give me the right inspiration to break out from this loop of feeling paralyzed at the moment, because I think many of us are feeling paralyzed.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I personally, what I did was trying to retrieve musical memories of moments that felt powerful to me, or musical memories that empower a certain sense of community and a certain sense of identity, or empowering me and the people around me to sort of stay strong and in our identities. And also I try to identify what kind of moment, say, music corporations kind of seem to take over and sort of like started generating global memories for everyone, which you could identify more or less. But at some point, there was inequivocally a moment where there was this prefabricated music that was being posed upon an entire generation. And I thought it was really interesting to reflect on that sort of point, which haven't really happened before with such intensity.
And as a whole, it poses the question, does the dichotomy between true folk and fake folk exist? What are both of your personal views on this?
I do believe there is a difference, but perhaps the difference is not an objective one. Perhaps we need to, that's a question that we need to ask ourselves, and that's what I hope that our work help everyone who participates in viewing it and sort of triggers these sort of questions, because that's an answer that only each of us can answer. I believe that's something to find in ourselves.
So what I think about the difference between true folk and fake folk, let's say, is that true folk is a bottom-up thing. It's from the people. It is influenced by local people. It is influenced by local movements. It is influenced by something specific to a community. While fake folk is something which is top-down. It's influenced by nationalist ideas, which imagine a certain folk, which they kind of twist into their own understanding, to their own agenda. It's influenced by globalist tendencies. It's influenced by basically a super capitalist world, and it has nothing to do with the folk at the end. So there where I see the main difference. And I think this is something really important to reclaim, us, the people and the communities, to have the community spaces, to have our shared culture, to have our local culture, and not just take what's being pushed on us from the top.
To find out more about Miha and Capablanca's collaboration and watch their AV work in full, head to 25av.eu.